Hello guys, a big welcome to this channel. My name is the truly inspiring Nyamiche Boatin, and I'm happy and really excited to have you here on this channel. And guys, the breaking news and the latest news in town is that Mohamed Kudus has joined or is almost on the verge of joining Brighton. And I'd like to tell you more about this deal and tell you what Kudus can do for Brighton and what Brighton can also do for Mohamed Kudus in this video. I'll tell you more about the playing styles of Brighton and how Mohamed Kudus can fit into Brighton's midfield or attacking setup. While you are here, like this video and share to your friends. Let's get started, guys. So the latest news now about Mohamed Kudus is that Mohamed Kudus is on the verge of joining Brighton, and since July, it's been something on the minds of Ghanaians, something on the minds of a lot of football fans. And personally, I thought it was going to join Chelsea, but Fabrizio Romano comes to tell us that he's like 70% done and dusted to join Brighton. And David Ornstein also tells us that he's also very close to joining Brighton. And for me, I think it's a really good thing for him. I think per what Mohamed Kudus has done for his career at 23-year-old, I think if Julio and Sisu, if the likes of Solimarch are playing for Brighton, I think he can also very fit into the Brighton setup and play for Brighton. Personally, I thought Arsenal was the team that was going to go for him, or Chelsea, but as the news will have you know, he's almost on the verge of joining Brighton. And one thing you have to know too is what is left at this stage is Mohamed Kudus has to give us his verdict, his decision. Yes, Mohamed Kudus has to tell us what he thinks about the Brighton club before he can join. As at now, Ajax and then Brighton have come to terms to take a 40 million euros deal to sign Mohamed Kudus from Ajax to Brighton. If this deal comes to pass, if Mohamed Kudus becomes a Brighton player, what happens is that he becomes Brighton's record signing, 40 million euros. The player who held this record was João Pedro. João Pedro was bought for 30 million euros, and then Mohamed Kudus is being bought for 40 million euros. It tells you how Brighton as a club values Mohamed Kudus. It tells you how good he is in the eyes of Roberto De Zerbi. Roberto De Zerbi says, let's sign Mohamed Kudus to help him to be part of the array of players he has at Brighton. And I think for me personally, it's good for Mohamed Kudus. It's good for him to join the Brighton setup. Even though I have some hiccups here and there about the deal, I think if Mohamed Kudus joined Brighton, it will help him very much. So talking about Mohamed Kudus is a Ghanaian footballer who plays for Ajax Amsterdam, 23 years of age, he played 30 matches for the Eredivisie giants Ajax and scored 11 goals and had 3 assists. He had an exciting season last season, and he had some stellar goals too against the likes of Liverpool in the Champions League, and he played also very well in the World Cup, which shot him up to fame, and the whole world came to know him through the World Cup. Talking about Mohamed Kudus, he's been deployed mainly as a centre midfielder, as an attacking midfielder, and also as a false 9. But he also has the strength to play in 7 different positions. It tells you the kind of player he is, how versatile he is. I remember watching him when he was playing in North Zealand. He was playing as a DM, what we call as a defensive midfielder, a holding number 6. He can play holding number 6. He can play as a number 7, what we know as number 7 on the right wing, on the left wing, as an attacking midfielder, and also he can also play as a striker. It tells you what he has in his skill set, in his arsenal as a player for Brighton. And personally, I think if he joins Brighton, he might probably be sending a signal that maybe Brighton will tend to change their formation, where they get to play a 4-2-3-1 system with Kudus behind the striker Ivan Ferguson, and then do Julio and Sisu on the left, or Mitoma on the left, and then Julio and Sisu on the right. It tells you what they can do as a club. So Brighton as a club are known and noted for buying players who are really unrecognized. They buy players who really do not have the names out there. And when they buy such players go out, they end up selling such players for huge amounts of money. Let's take a case like Marc Cucurella. Cucurella was really a good player for Barcelona, ended up at Getafe and was really not hyped as he was. But when he came to Brighton, he became a good player, scored Manchester United, and then Chelsea went to sign him. Talking about Moses Caicedo, who knew Moses Caicedo? Moses Caicedo was relatively an unknown figure. But look at Moses Caicedo now. What am I saying? Brighton is really going to buy Mohamed Kudus and sell him for a lot of money in the next 2-3 seasons. So believe me, if Chelsea do not get Mohamed Kudus now, they'll probably buy him £120 million in the next 3 years, next 2 years, because Mohamed Kudus at Brighton is going to cook. Mohamed Kudus will really come to life at Brighton, and look out for Mohamed Kudus. So let's talk about Mohamed Kudus' positional fate at Brighton. Looking at Brighton, the array of players and the kind of talent Brighton has is really mind-blowing, because I look at Brighton and I'm like, wow, even though I really want Mohamed Kudus to play in the Premier League and play for Brighton, you look at the kind of players Brighton has on the bench, you go like, wow, a lot of players. If you come to the left wing, they have Kaoru Mitoma. Mitoma plays for Japan, and last season had an exciting season. Mitoma replaced Trossard in the EPL for Brighton, and the kind of play Mitoma plays is too much, exciting, too much. One of the best wingers in England. On the right wing, they have Solimatch, they have Facundo Buonanotte, they have Julio and Ciso. They have a lot of players. They have players at their disposal. I'm thinking, where can Mohamed Kudus fit? The best position for Mohamed Kudus in this setup is the attacking midfield position. In that position, you have to battle the likes of Julio and Ciso for that position. And Brighton has this young boy called Adingra. Adingra is from Ivory Coast. He can play the left back position, can play the left midfield position, and he can also play as a centre forward. I'm also thinking Roberto De Zerbi can also deploy that guy in the attacking midfield position. It tells you that's the kind of competition Mohamed Kudus will be facing. But I think looking at Mohamed Kudus' skill set, if he's able to adapt tactically and listen to instructions from Roberto De Zerbi, looking at what he does, he at times even dazzles me. He takes on the ball like Lionel Messi, dribbles and takes on players, but sometimes he lacks that final touch, that final pass, when to make the pass. That's what Mohamed Kudus must learn from Roberto De Zerbi, add to his game. And I'm telling you, the number 10 position will be for Mohamed Kudus in Brighton, and nobody can come close to him, because looking at the talent he possesses, I think Julio and Ciso beats him a bit with only when it comes to ball striking. Apart from that, I think Mohamed Kudus is a better player than Julio Ciso on any day, on every talent. And looking at their ages, Mohamed Kudus has experience to play for Brighton. So with this exciting signing, I'll wait to look at how Roberto De Zerbi will look to play his tactical changes and how he'll fit Mohamed Kudus in his setup. So like I told you, Mohamed Kudus is almost done. The deal to Brighton is almost done. We'll look at what Mohamed Kudus will say, whether he wants to join Brighton or you wait for Chelsea bid and join Chelsea. Guys, this is where we bring this one to an end. Personally, I'm excited about this. I'll tell you more about Mohamed Kudus in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video. The best is yet to come. Thanks.